Okay, we're back for another episode of Firehouse Novi. Today we've got a special guest. Cheryl Walsh is going to be riding on the fire truck. We're going to be here at Station 1 on Grand River for a while, and hopefully we will go out the door on the fire truck when it goes on a run. So Cheryl will get to experience that, see what happens inside the fire truck, what it looks like from the fire truck when people do what they do ahead of us, because these days it's tough. Between iPods, between GIS, between Blackberries, and all the various things that people have, they're not paying attention or not hearing us. All we're doing with a light and siren is asking for the right of way. If they don't give us the right of way, a lot of times they'll see us at the last minute, slam on their brakes, or they'll pull left instead of going right like they should, and then we've got real problems. So it's up to the driver of the fire truck to keep it under control, and no matter what someone does in front of him or in front of that driver, they can get around that person that might do something unexpected. So what do you think, Cheryl? Have you ever ridden in a fire truck before?
I'm still like amazed at the long introduction you just gave here. I think you lost me at about special guest.
It's one of those things where you really want to get the message out to people when you're going on runs.
Gotcha. I'm excited. It's the first time I've ever experienced putting on your quote turnout gear. Viewing audience will not be seeing me in the helmet unless we go on an actual run, because it's a whole, Mary Landry will explain it, it's the whole helmet, hat, hair thing. It does not happen on Miss Walsh that often. Okay. But we'll see. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great inside look at one of your fire engines and what you guys actually do when you're out in the community. And I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate the opportunity to join you.
Well, I think you'll learn a few things. What we've got here, even just something as simple as a helmet, is about $260. So you can see when you outfit an entire firefighter, helmet, coat, the turnout pants, the boots, the gloves, the hood, we're talking about $2,000 for a set of turnout gear. So things are more expensive than they ever were, but they're also more protective than they ever were. So hopefully we won't have to test that today.
I hope not, but thanks again for the opportunity, and Stay tuned as we embark here on this episode of Firehouse number 6. As I said in the intro, I'm very happy you asked me to do this. Never would have imagined getting into a fire truck. Never, let alone in these clothes. I'm hoping that we're going to get to do something fun, but we'll see. Tell me about some of the equipment, Chief, while we're in here. Tell me about some of this equipment. What would this be for?
This is a headset that the people in the back here can wear, so you can hear the radio, and then it's voice activated. You can talk to dispatch or to the driver if you need to. This is actually for hearing protection that they wear this because of the noise of the siren, whether it's electronic or a mechanical siren. The reason I don't hear very well now is because I had 30 years of not wearing these. It hasn't been recommended until a few years back.
So everybody in the vehicle would wear the headset. They'd be able to communicate to each other through that.
Yes, and you can hear what dispatch says without all the background noise, so you can hear specific information or direct.
So that's automatic on. The driver doesn't have to turn that on.
Nope.
Okay.
And that hangs here.
Okay.
You've got some of the vents here that blow, and we've got air conditioning in this truck, so they blow cold or hot air. What you see, the two black boxes there that are facing forward are speakers that just put the dispatch communications into the cab if someone doesn't have a headphone on. These are the portable radios that we use that are attached up front here. We've got a couple chargers and a couple just sitting there as extras. But this is the lifeline. This is what we use when we're separate from the truck and we've got to communicate.
The drivers, do they have to have any special training?
Yes, they do. They go through a special, what we call a firefighter's rodeo, where they have to drive around cones and back through a serpentine course around cones. So they go through a classroom and a practical portion, and they should be doing that using their own vehicle that they will be working on. That's one of the things that we have to train new people in, is they may get a generic driver training at another city when we send them to a firefighter class, but when they come to Novi and they start working here, they got to learn what this engine's like.
Where do we set that up?
We have, I believe we have 7 firefighters right now in Highland Township attending a class. They started, I believe, last week, and they will be done by next spring.
The co-pilot,
Yes.
just as trained, could jump in the driver's seat at any time as well.
Absolutely. They can interchange positions. Usually they trade off. One day one will drive, the next day the other will drive. His job, being on the right side, is to get directions to the driver so the driver knows when to turn left. When they approach a light like this, they both have to be looking right and left, and he will usually let the driver know you're good on the right or you're okay on the right. But it's still incumbent on the driver to make that check himself and make sure it's clear.
I notice a laptop.
Yes. Actually, when we get back to the station, we'll do a little filming of that. The laptops are part of some federal grant money that we got, and they do have some city information in there, individual lots. They've got maps. They've got some hazardous materials information. So we can use those to gather information on the way to a run.
What would a typical run, you said today was a typical day. What, after they've checked their vehicle, they are doing inspections, what would a typical day look like as far as runs? Car accidents, a few small minor fires, what's a typical day?
We're about normal in all of the suburbs of southeast Michigan. About 75% of our runs are EMS in nature. That could be anything from a car accident to maybe a child falls in the schoolyard, maybe there's a sports injury in the afternoon, to someone having a heart attack at their home. The other quarter of the runs, or the other 25% of the runs, are usually fire in nature, but that might be an alarm, it might be a dumpster fire, it might be a semi with a hot brake drum that's smoking down on the expressway. So something along the lines of fire in nature and not EMS.